Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am really excited about this video, sharing this with you today. This literally might be the most important video that I'll ever make and the most important information that I have ever received. It literally encompasses the meaning of life, essentially. So I was working with a client on Saturday, and my client was talking about how he was a little bit unsure of whether he was on the right path or not. He thought he was on the right path, but he wasn't totally confident that he was on the right path, for his life. And what the relatives were communicating was that there really is no getting off of our path. The entire purpose of why we came into this physical experience is it's an inward journey. It has nothing to do with the external. It has everything to do with how we feel about ourselves inside, and not just how we feel in general, but how worthy we feel. The only thing the external uh, plays a part into this, or is important, is because it's a mirror for us of how worthy we feel on the inside. So there really is no getting off of our path, because everything that we experience, we intended to use as an opportunity to remember our worthiness. So they equated it to um, like a challenge or a game, basically. So the analogy they used is that when we're in spirit, it would be the same as us living in the most beautiful house, in the most beautiful location. We have everything we want, the best of the best. And but we really wanted to shake it up and stir things up a little bit. So we intentionally asked and put ourselves way out, far into the jungle. And our entire intention in coming into this lifetime was to find our way back home. So they also said it was similar to the show Naked and Afraid, let's say. So on Naked and Afraid, these people know, without a doubt, at the end of the 14 days or the 28 days, they're going to be taken home. And one thing that always used to bother me about that particular show was that there's no real incentive, or there's no prize money, or there's no, I didn't understand why they would put themselves in these situations when there was nothing that they were really going to win at the end. But now I have a much better understanding, which is that these people do it simply just for the challenge. They really enjoy the idea of going in these survival situations and doing everything uh, to make their way through these challenging circumstances, knowing that they're going to go home at the end, but doing it simply for the challenge or the game. And that's very similar to how the relatives set our life experiences. We do it for the fun, for the excitement, and for the opportunity to remember who we are, to remember our self-worth. So they said, now that you know the overall objective, now you have a compass. Now you always know which direction to head in. And this really just blew my mind, and it resonated so much, and it made so much sense to me that that's why we would come, and that's the overall objective to our life. But then they wanted to take it a step further and provide some of those tools that we can use in the jungle. So they gave me three different scenarios of things that I could potentially use in order to practice this idea of self-worth. So the first one was, I live in one of the most expensive places in the country, and one of the most expensive things about living here is purchasing food. So I used to get a lot of anxiety when I would go to the grocery store, and it was almost like every time I would scan something, every time I would ring something through, I could feel my anxiety growing more and more. Like, oh my gosh, how much is this ultimately going to cost this time? So I was in the frozen aisle, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to pick up, something that I didn't necessarily need, but I wanted it. And the relatives came through at that point and they said, "Laura, you are worthy of having everything you want and everything you need." And it really took me back for a second because it it's so true. We are worthy of having everything we want and everything we need. So I went ahead and got my treat and I went to the register, and they wanted me to continue to repeat this phrase as I was doing the self checkout. And not only did it entirely change my overall feeling of, being at the grocery store and that entire experience, but I really started to feel such a sense of calmness and a feeling of being grounded, and also just feeling that this is where I belong within this mindset. So I came home and they wanted to take it even a step further. And they said, anytime you're feeling any sort of negative emotion, whether it be insecurity or irritability, jealousy, rage, resentment, anger, it doesn't matter where the negative emotion lies on the emotional scale. But anytime you're feeling one of these negative emotions, to identify it. So I am feeling insecure today, but I am still worthy. And even when somebody offends us or hurts us and we react negatively to it, we're really not mad at that particular person. What we're reacting to is that this comment or this action really threatened or disconnected us from our worthiness. So even when it relates to other people, I feel hurt, I feel offended, but I am still worthy. Then they wanted to take it even a step further, which is that it also applies to when we're feeling good, when we're experiencing positive emotions as well. So if we're feeling joy or lightheartedness or satisfaction, we identify that I am feeling happy and comfortable and confident because I am worthy. So there's these three different scenarios, but all which encompass us remembering our self worth. So we're feeling negatively. I feel jealous, but I am still worthy. You go somewhere where you have to buy something, or you need something, or you need to obtain something somehow. I am worthy of having everything I want and everything I need. You go home, you're feeling happy and comfortable and satisfied. I'm feeling happy and comfortable and satisfied because I am worthy. Now, I have to tell you guys, this all came through on Saturday, right? I practiced this for the last 3 days. So, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, today's Wednesday. I have to tell you guys, things in my external world have completely started to shift in only 3 days of practicing recognizing my self worth. I started to get amazing amounts of uh, inquiries and did unbelievable readings, better than I feel like I've done at any time in my professional career. I've had amazing synchronicities and opportunities and phone calls with people that are opening doors for me. New ideas are coming, travel plans are being formulated to attend, conferences. It's almost like my entire world floodgates just opened. And so that's the external part, right? That's the mirror of my newfound identification with my self-worth. But even more important than the external is how I'm actually feeling on the inside, because you don't have to take it subject by subject and work through each subject. Once you sort of just start identifying and working with your worthiness in general, it really does branch out into all areas of your life. And I can feel it in every bone of my body. Whereas when I first started a couple days ago, it felt very mental and I could feel that it resonated. But I feel like after only a couple of days, I feel this worthiness uh, throughout my entire being. It just feels uh, in my spirit and in my entire body. I can feel that worthiness. And it's such an incredible shift. And especially for somebody like me that deals with health issues where I don't really feel that good, I now see my health issues as an amazing opportunity, and now I have a tool. Now I have a compass for when I really am unwell. That even if I'm feeling unwell, or even if I am sick, but I am still worthy, or I am worthy of feeling good and happy and comfortable in my body. So, this was pretty much the biggest revelation and the biggest thing that could have ever come through for me. And I feel like for a lot of people out there as well. We tend to get really wrapped up in what are we doing externally? What are we accomplishing externally? And we forget that there's such a bigger picture. There's such a universally larger idea and picture to why we're here. And it all has to do with it being an inward path, an inward journey. So I really hope that this resonates with you guys. Uh, try to practice those three different scenarios just for a few days and really just see what starts to unfold in the external part of your life. And even come back. I'd love if you would provide, your experience or your feedback with that after a few days. And really just see what happens. It really is the entire meaning of why we are here and why we came. So enjoy. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope everybody has a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world.